So happy Monday. Holy crap, it's last Monday of April. It's our Team Sweaty Lovely Life team call. I'm really, really pumped about tonight's call. So tonight's call is all about inviting. And I really, really felt passionate about talking about this because it's something that not only do I feel like I am constantly working at and just I realized it like the past couple weeks, just how far I've really come with my mindset over inviting. And that did not happen overnight. And I continue to have to work at this mindset. So shame on me for not doing this sooner. So I apologize, but also I know that we have a ton of new ladies on this call, new ladies on our team, and you guys are all just crushing it. I know you really, really are hungry for knowledge and growth. So I am going to try and give you the best that I can give you to get you guys into the right mindset, into the right, give you guys some really good tools and tips to take forward into your goals for May. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right. So I wanted to make this fun because you guys, just like Beyonce has Sasha Fierce, and if you don't know that she has that alter ego, now you know. You gotta kind of embody this badass warrior, I can do all the things mindset when it comes to this business, when it comes to all of the hard things of this business. Because I'm gonna say in this call, this business is not complicated. It's simple, but this business is hard because it requires us to do the uncomfortable things. It requires us to grow and get out of our comfort zone, which is a blessing and a privilege, but not all people are willing and able to do that. So that's where it gets hard, okay? So think of yourself as a freaking ninja, okay? So I'm just going to kind of cruise through this. So can you guys all see this? Yep, okay. All right. So just quick announcements. I want to recap this because I want you guys all to have this at the forefront of your brains that we have Summit coming up in July. It's July 11th through 14th. We have a house rented. We have 10 girls going or 9 girls going right now. I think we got even bigger house now. We can always maybe pop in some more people. I never want to officially close the doors for anybody that wants to come to Summit. We will figure it out. We will make it work. We will find a way. This is our first Summit as a team. It's my first Summit in the 2 years that I've been coaching. Really quick, first year I joined right after watching all the ladies at Summit. It was after I've been a challenger or a discount coach for 3 months, and it was literally in June after watching everybody go to Summit that I realized just how badly I wanted to be a part of something bigger, something so powerful as this community. So it's in Indianapolis. The tickets I think are $195 at this point. That's the final price now. They've had tons of sales the last few months. If you earn Success Starter, so Success Club or Help Changing 3 Lives, your first 3 months, you get that ticket paid for, so you get that reimbursed. So it's totally worth it to go for it and just buy the ticket and work your ass off and get it paid for, okay? It's just, there's so much value. There's so much to be experienced there. Live workouts. Rachel Hollis is going to be there. Tons of trainings from all the top leaders in the company and just other, big personal development people. And then they have track specific training. So wherever you are in your business, they will set you up for success going forward. Okay. Our big upline team is doing a lot of trainings and get-togethers, prior to Summit. So it's just going to be an amazing time, guys. And I just don't want you guys to ever think that you can't be there. If you are serious about coaching and serious about what you want out of this community and this business, make this happen, okay? Our team retreat. This is another thing, a big announcement that I thought about this a lot over the weekend. And the fact is that we do have a lot of newcomers in the last few weeks. We do have a lot of ladies that I think really, really want this and really have what it takes, have the belief, have the drive, and have like the passion. I'm really excited about our team and what it's growing into and everybody that we have, at this moment. So I wanted to extend the qualification deadline for our diamond retreat. I upped the ante and made this a diamond retreat, you guys. I held my first emerald retreat last November, and it was small. There was only 4 of us there. And I really wanted to push myself, and I wanted to push us as a team and make this a diamond retreat for both myself and Leah's personally sponsored coaches, because I believe that we can do this. I think that I overcomplicated so much of this business in the beginning. I think we in general overcomplicate so much of this. Diamond is a decision. Emerald is a choice. Diamond is a decision. This business is not complicated. It is totally possible if you show up and do the work. So I totally believe that every single person could be diamond by June 6th. So we are doing that in Lake Placid. It is August 16th through 18th. We have that house rented in Lake Placid, Airbnb. We're going to have a photographer. We're going to go do hiking, beer tasting, the whole shebang. So come be there. Okay. All right. Getting right into it, you guys. Okay. So I'm going to call these my ninja-isms. All right. So this is pretty much how these are things that I've picked up from over the last couple months from my leadership trainings, just what the revelations I've had about inviting, in the recent shifts I've had in my business, and just, pretty much kind of how the mindset that I try to embody every day when I go into my invites. All right. So the only way to be successful in this business, honestly, you guys, is through inspiration or desperation. Think about it. You join, you're so inspired by how this journey or how this community has changed your life, how, it's transformed your body, transformed your mind, your health, whatever, or, financially, like however you first come into this, whether you did join right for the coaching or whether you came in initially just as a challenger. You're either inspired and you want to share this and you want to go out and tell everybody, or it's out of desperation. And what I mean out of desperation is not like, oh my God, like I'm going to go out and sell everybody kind of a thing. This is not selling. Desperation means that you, like, unfortunately for us to have like the fire sometimes, to go out there and have the courage to do the things, to reach our goals, to invite, to do the scary, uncomfortable stuff, comes out of desperation. So whether your family like needs this, you need this, like it is like all or nothing. There's no plan B. Like you need to make this happen. And honestly, like all in all, I think you really kind of need to have a little bit of both. And so that's why I say get rid of your plan B. If you came into this, if you have the inclination, the fire in your gut, like any sort of whatever butterfly in your belly that you want to coach, that is for a purpose. That is for a reason. And there's nothing that makes me more, I believe that that's a sign. I know that I felt that, and I know that I've felt that kind of like that longing, that pull for something more for a very, very long time. And I just stuffed it down. And when coaching came along, I continued to stuff it down because of fear. And it wasn't until I finally just said, why the frick not me? And I just went into it that I started to, unlock that fear and face it head on. But I will tell you, you guys, it wasn't until I hit Diamond last April, and it was in probably May, June, that I had kind of like a freak out moment. I had a moment where I hit Diamond and I thought my whole business was going to change. I thought I was going to be making all the money, and that's not what happened, because Diamond is not where you make all the money. It is the building block in which you build a really strong, thriving business. But Diamond's just the beginning. Diamond's where all the fun starts. That's where you really like can turn it into something. But I had this freak out moment. You know, we were getting married in June. I hated my job. I was so burnt out with my job. I was just so toxic, and I just wanted out so badly that, you know, I had it on my vision board that I wanted to be 2-star by the end of the year, and I had it that I wanted to be per diem by the end of the year. And this is where I went wrong, is I had these too big of visions, and I didn't have an action plan. I didn't get clear and focused enough of what I needed to do every day in order to reach those types of goals. And that is really where everything shifted for me, because I was applying and interviewing for home care nursing, and I got 2 different job offers. And it finally, throughout the interviewing process, I knew that I was doing this out of desperation. I knew that I didn't really want to go start another job, because I knew and wanted coaching. I knew that's what I wanted, but I wanted out of my other job like so badly. But I didn't believe enough in myself in coaching to go all in with it until I went through that interview process. And then I realized, no, I don't want this. I would rather stick it out for the rest of this year at this job and give my all and get really freaking focused on what I need to do with coaching than go start another job only to know that in a year or 2 I want out. I would just be trading one problem for another. So get rid of your plan B. If you have a plan B, you need to scratch it, okay? Because you need to get focused, all right? At anything in our life, like when I was in PA school or going to nursing school, you're gonna graduate. You decide in your mind, there's no plan B. I have to graduate because I need a job and I need to pay my bills. It's the same thing, you guys. If this is your dream, then you make it happen. No one else is going to make your dream come true other than you. Okay. So that's an end of story there. So you need to get yourself a routine. You need to get clear and focused on those vitals, and you need to make it a freaking habit that you might not always love it, but it's out of discipline. I show up every day out of discipline, you guys. I don't show up every day because I just freaking love it. I don't freaking love to get up at 3 a.m. every day and do my miracle morning. I mean, I love it when I'm doing it. I love it afterwards because I feel great doing it, but I don't want to get out of bed every day. There's some days I really want to just this morning, I want to call in sick on life. I just wanted to sleep. But I didn't. I got up, and I'm so glad that I did. Okay, because I have this discipline now that I know that I need to show up, not just for myself. I need to show up for Nate and my goals, and I need to show up for you guys. It's so much bigger than me, and my dreams won't happen if I don't show up. So I'll talk about getting yourself a routine, but personal development is literally my lifeline. If you are having whatever you're struggling with right now, we all come into this with doubt. We all come into this with fear. We all come into this I was scared to shit about what people thought of me. I didn't want my coworkers to find out. My sister's one of the most judgmental people on this planet. My parents didn't understand. Nate didn't understand. I had all the doubt around me. My warm market was not warm. So I had to immediately dive into unknown territory. I had to go reach out to people I hadn't talked to in 5 years. I had to reach out to people that I maybe met at a bar one night and really didn't even know. I had to reach out to strangers. All right. I had to build up my community, and I really had to dive all into personal development, because there's no way that I'm going to be a coach or be successful if I don't grow my confidence, if I don't do the hard things and do the things I'm scared of, so that I can build confidence over time in those things that I'm not good at. You guys, I started doing team calls last July, and I freaking sucked when I started team calls. I still feel like I suck every time I do a team call. I still get nervous every time I come on to do a team call. And I am not a public speaker. You guys, I didn't do plays. I hated getting up in front of class. You know what I mean? These are just things, you guys. These are just lies that we tell ourselves in our minds, because of experiences that we've had throughout our childhood and into our adult life. Okay. I was always the quiet girl. So I feel like in my mind, my mean girl tells me I'm always going to be that quiet girl. Okay. But it's a lot. So whatever your issue is, you got to lean into it, personal development. I don't care if you're listening to it on Audible, through podcasts all day, reading. I do a little bit of both or all of it. Okay. Every single day I try to read, my personal development, whatever it is, whether it's a professional development book or personal development book, I'm always listening and learning and trying to be a sponge. Okay. Because I know that that's what I need, because it not only like reinstills my belief when I'm feeling low, or I'm feeling like, like I get a ton of no's in one day or whatever, like that depletes me. So I have to fill my bucket back up with personal development. Okay. To remind me that it's not about me. Okay. Or, it's not about me. It's about them. So don't absorb that shit. Absorb the good stuff. Okay. And, just like gut check yourself. You've got to get in the habit of gut checking yourself. Like, do your actions match your mouth? If you're saying that you want to be successful at coaching, if you're saying that you want to be an emerald, if you're saying you want to be a diamond, if you're saying that you want to make $500, $1,000, a week or a month, you've got to put in the work to do that, right? Like I did, this is why, like, I'm so thankful, or I wish that someone had told me early on what exactly I needed to do to be making $1,000 a month, because I would have started showing up probably 10x more than I was in the beginning, because I really could have used like way more than $1,000 a month last fall. And that, would have gotten me out of my job sooner. It would have gotten me, it would help me now in our house buying process. Like I'm finally realizing that now, but that's why the knowledge that I'm trying to pay forward to you guys. Knowledge is power. If you know what you need to do to create the freedom and the life that you want, like, you have everything you need to go after and get it. It's just doing it. It's just doing the things. All right. So the truth about inviting is that we aren't saleswomen. We are transformers. I heard Melanie Mitchell say this the other day. And I freaking loved it, because it's so true. Like we don't, this is how I forget where I mentioned it, but like, yeah, I mentioned it in the next slide, but like, you're not a saleswoman. You're here to transform lives, starting with you. You're transforming your own life, and you're literally playing it out in front of other people. And it's small incremental changes every day. And you know what that is? It's just showing up and showing people, like I did this morning at ass crack of dawn, how I really didn't want to get out of my clothes. I was so cold. I didn't want to work out. Like, I had kind of a shitty day at work, like, and here I am, like, I'm tired, and I showed up to make this presentation for this, for our team call, but team call is my positive out of this whole day. Team call is my guiding light, because like, you guys pouring into you, like, I've already forgotten about Game of Thrones right now. You know what I mean? It's like nothing really matters, because this is what fuels me, like helping you guys get over the shit that has held me back, and helping you find ways to get over your stuff, like to be better. That's what makes this, like, that's what's life-changing for me. These workouts and programs changed my life, my health, my mentality, and that's what I've shared. But now it's like I have so much more to share, and I try to share all of that, because that's the opportunity that's really changing my life, giving me opportunities that I've never been able to even fathom before. Okay, so if you don't share it, like, you're holding them back from a life-changing opportunity. You really have to understand that. Okay. Like, you got a sign. I reached out to you, or you watched my stories, or we crossed paths somehow, and you got a sign. So you have to be that sign for someone else. Okay. If my coach had not reached out to me at the time that I really truly was needing something, then I don't know where I'd be, like, I don't know. I can't know for certain that maybe someone else, like, would have come along and I would have connected with them, or, I can't know what would have happened, but definitely everything that's happened since then wouldn't have happened. You know, like that's just such a what if. Like you have to have the courage to be that beacon of hope for somebody, you know, like you just have to take yourself out of it and make it, because it's not about you, it's about them. Okay, so we're all scared to ask, we all don't know, we don't know, we are, you know, but we are one step ahead of where they are. For all of you guys that are brand spanking new, like I know all of you have told me this, like, and this is so, I totally get this, because this is like how I felt. You feel like you don't know enough. You feel like you don't have a transformation. Maybe you've really not even shown up yet. Maybe you've been like kind of going at this a little bit here and there, but you really haven't, like, you haven't been consistent. You really don't feel like, you know, you're getting any footing yet. I guarantee you it's because you're caught up on this. You're caught up on this fear that you need to have a transformation like her, or you need to be able to write captions like her, or you need to be able to, like, you know, be 10 steps ahead of where you are. Like you guys, I tell you all the time, because this truly, truly is it, that I wish I just started sharing from day one. I wish I started coaching from day one, because it would have been so much more relatable for someone to see me step out of something, step from out of something like, you know, I went from doing BBG programs and running or whatever to being like, I'm trying something completely out of my comfort zone, and who knows what the hell's going to happen, but I need something. Here we go. Like, I wish I could have just taken people on that journey from day one, instead of popping out of nowhere and being like, hi, here I am. Like, you want to join my boot camp? You know what I mean? It's like, you have to understand that you are already a step ahead of that person, because you already got to the place where you had the courage to say yes. That's all you need to do and be for somebody else right now. You just need to be that positive beacon of hope, of being like, hey girl, yeah, I totally get you. Like, you know, that's how I'm feeling, or how I'm feeling right. You know, I was feeling a week ago, but you know, this is what I'm feeling now and why I said yes. Okay. Cause you probably have all of the objections and they're fresh in your mind. Fear of what people think of you, fear of failure, fear of money, and all the things. Like, you have things to talk about already, you know? And like, you're gaining more knowledge and you're gaining more experience every day that you show up. And that's powerful. Okay. That's relatable. You're literally baby steps ahead of them. They're going to be able to see themselves in you that much more. You know what I mean? And as opposed to someone being like, oh my God, how did you lose those 30 pounds? Like, Jesus Christ, like, I could never do that. When they're watching you do it every day. Like, that's why I say share week to week transformations. You know, talk about the changes, the non-scale victories all the time. Talk about all that stuff, because that's what's powerful. Okay. And if you don't, someone else will. If you don't reach out to that person, you know, this is what's going to happen, because this is what we do, right? We creep. You know, like, I was watching probably, I don't even know how many people, like, I didn't even know they were Beachbody coaches, but I was creeping, because we, like moths to a flame, when you see someone else that has that happiness, that glow, that like whatever that you desire, you can't stop watching, right? So you know, because this is what we teach you, like, this is what we know, is like, if they're watching, they're curious. They're curious. They want to know more, but they're too scared to ask. That's why we have to be the ones to ask. We have to have the courage, because we know what it's like to be that person. We know what it's like to be on the other side, you know? And so if we go and watch somebody else, if that person goes and watch somebody else, I guarantee you that coach is going to go reach out to them. All right. And then they might say yes to that one, and you're going to be real sorry when that happens. Okay. And being motivational is great, you guys, but that's not what gets you paid. You know, we can throw up quotes all day long. We can just throw up, like, you know, inspiration all day long. But if we're not doing the behind the scenes of reaching out and inviting people and letting them know that, hey, you could be a part of this too. Hey, these programs I do, you can do them too. Hey, this superfood shake that I'm drinking, you can have it too. You can have access to all these meal plans that I've been following that are really, really simple and actually they let you eat all the things. It just teaches you what you kind of need for your body type. And all this positivity and all this, community, you could be a part of that too. But they're not going to know that if you're just throwing up inspiration and there's no like, call to action, call to think, or you behind it. Like, it all works together. Okay. You can't have one without the other. You have to be a consistent ninja. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting heated up. Okay. All right. So that's where I'm leaning into my point. Before you even invite you guys, you got to check yourself. This is where tough love Amy comes out. Okay. No one's going to respond to your invite if you aren't showing up on your social media every day. And this is where I feel like a lot of people like run into problems. Because, that son of a bitch, I think he's watching Thrones without me. In another moment. Okay, but that's where salesy comes from, you guys. This is where I think that it gets salesy. Because if you're not showing up and you're like, all right, so you send an invite to somebody. Maybe they do follow you. Maybe they've watched your stories, but you've only posted like a couple stories here and there, once a day, maybe every other day, whatever. And so you reach out to that person. They're going to be like, WTF, they're going to go immediately and look at your page. They're going to see you haven't posted in a week. They're going to be like, oh, she doesn't even have recent stories for me to watch. I can't really get to know her because I can't even hear her voice. I don't get to see her, and I don't see anything about her life. Like, I'm not going to respond. Or if you follow up with that again, they're really going to probably give you the shutdown, because there's nothing there. There's no connective tissue, you guys. Like, that's where it feels salesy, all right? Because it's like you literally are just like throwing, hooks out there, trying to see if you can catch something, like sell a challenge pack, but you're not showing them what they would be getting. You're not showing, that's why we have coaches, you guys. Shakeology, Beachbody programs, they don't sell, okay? That's not what we're selling. We're selling ourselves. We're selling our lifestyle. We're selling, hey, I think, like, all right, think about it this way. It's like, okay, why do we say yes to people? It doesn't have to come, most of the time it has nothing to do with the Shakeology, has nothing to do with any of that. It has to do with the fact that I could see myself in your story. I can see myself in your life. Like, your post there talking about, how much you dread bathing suit season, or what you say about your job or where you're at in your life, that hits home for me. That's why people say yes. So if you send out an invite, and you've got nothing to back it up, then you guys, you're fishing you're just fishing. Okay. So if you're posting consistently though, and authentically, so sharing value, sharing you, and you're posting with purpose, right? Your inviting is going to become more and more natural. Your objections will lessen, because you're already posting about the objections. You're already showing them value and showing what they will get. And so you're already building them up and building that connective tissue, so that by the time you send an invite, they already know what they want. They already know if it's just timing or money, or if they're ready to sign up that day, or if they just have some questions, right? So you got to trust me on this one, all right? And the myths, like, you don't need a transformation. You don't need an experience or a degree. You don't need to be certified in anything. You don't need to have all the answers. Like, you guys, you don't need to have all the answers. You just have to be resourceful enough to go find them. You have to be resourceful enough to go YouTube or Google, or look in your back office, or go to our team page and ask, right? You don't need to have the perfect caption or aesthetic. I mean, yes, we would like you to work on it's nice to work on those things over time, but that's not necessity. That's not what's going to grow your business. All right. What's going to grow your business is the personal connection of you reaching out to people and showing up and being yourself and showing them, yeah, I'm not really, we all suck in the beginning. Like, I really don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to figure it out. And, you can trust me, because here I am showing up every day. Right. So you don't, I was really leading myself up to a powerful point, but So like the point is you don't need to do all these things. You just need to be relevant. And the way you're relevant is that you're showing up, right? You're showing up and you can back up. It's like you're not just relevant, I can't think of the word. It will come to me. Anyway, I'm going to move on. Oh, shoot. Forgot to upload my example. Basically, what I wanted to show you guys here was like an example of like my inviting, I don't know, like 6 months ago versus my inviting now. And so basically what used to happen is I would message somebody and I would be like, hey, so-and-so. I would do their name and I'd be like, thank you so much for the love and the support. It means so much to me. It's so hard for me to put myself out there. I really, like, it was this long, like, paragraph. And, like, I had such a hard time getting people to respond to me with that. Usually after following up, I would get people's response and stuff. But, like, I had a lot of struggle with that for a while. And I couldn't figure it out. Because the truth is like, it was too much. I was word vomiting on people. And also, you got to think, like, how would you, like, when you get a message like that in your inbox, are you going to read it? Some of us might. Some of you might. But you have to think, like, how you would want to be invited, right? So for me, I hate it when people are around the bush. Like, when people, like, send me those long blurbs, I don't even read them. I just delete. I block because I think they're just trying to sell me something. But if I get something short, I think it's something genuine and, like, they actually want to connect with me. It's just, like, a mental thing, you know? So my invites now are super short and right to the point because I don't like being around the bush. I don't like when people are being around the bush with me. I want you to tell me right from the get-go what do you want, right? So, but you only figure that stuff out, you guys, by doing it. You know, you like I say when I share in our new coach group, you know, make it your own. Speak like I use hate, you know, it all comes down to even just a little verbiage, like whether you do use first names or whether you know, say girl or love or whatever lady, like, or don't even say anything. It's like use lingo and language that like reflects you and your personality, okay? Because that's what's going to attract and respond to the other yous out there, all right? So here's some like ninja actions, all right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hit send. There is a saying for this, and it's don't be a bee, B-I-T-C-H. Just hit send, you guys. Like, if you haven't read Mel Robbins' 5-second rule, this is what helped me so much in the beginning, was just adopting the mentality because I was going to be scared shitless anyway. I might as well just do it, right? I remember when Leah first shared her transformation picture, she literally texted me and was like, I'm so scared to post this. Like, I can't do this. Like, she like was terrified to share her 21-day fix, like, transformation photos. You know, that photo she shares all the time now. And I literally told her, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and post it, turn your phone off. And that's what she did. And she like turned her phone back on, like whatever, and had like 100 likes. I don't even know. But you guys, like, you're never going to know until you do it, right? What's the worst thing that's going to happen? You're not going to die. All right. So just post, just do it. Just hit send. What's the worst that's going to happen to you? What I tell myself all the time, especially when I'm reaching out to people like that I kind of distantly know, like from high school or just in the community. I'm like, well, I never talked to you really anyway before. You weren't adding any value to my life. So the worst thing that could happen is that you continue to not add value to my life. The best thing that could happen is that you could become like a really positive friend in my life and we could like impact each other. Yes, that is what I would like, okay? But what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Nothing, right? Anything that you can think of is really just about your fear anyway, about maybe them responding. And then their negative response to you is just a projection of their insecurity. Do you see what I'm saying here, you guys? Like, when you break it down, it's really, truly, like, you just got to do it because you are going to be the one that's going to benefit. You're the one that's going to, like, you're not going to be any worse for the wear. You're not going to die. Okay. And this is your business. This is ultimately like I said in the beginning, like, what do you want? Don't have a plan B. This is your business. Like, this doesn't grow if you don't do the things. This doesn't grow if you don't grow. Like, you're going to have to continuously get out of your comfort zone. Like, you know, it continues to just, you know, every time I get to a new point, like where I have to do something that, you know, out of my comfort zone, and I have to grow. Like, you know, when I hit 2-star, like I had to adopt new, like, my team's growing, so I have to grow. I have to learn how to become a better leader. I have to learn how to, you know, accept loss, or, you know, people are going to leave and that sucks. And like, I've never been great about that, but I've got to get better at it, right? Like, I can't make it about me. I can't, you know, like, you're constantly going to have to get over these fears. And that's the thing. They're just deposits in your confidence bucket. It gets easier over time, but you only get through it by doing. All right. So, and you know, if you're constantly living off those commissions, like you are in the beginning, that's why it's so tough in the beginning. That's why I really want you to, like, you know, don't focus on emerald, focus on diamond, right? I don't want you to focus on emerald because I don't want you to be all about commissions. I want you to build up to that point where you're actually building that residual income. Okay. Because if you're only living off commissions, you're going to burn yourself out. Like, bottom line, like, that is where people get burnt out, because they don't feel like there's any growth. They don't feel like anything's happening. And then ultimately, if you, like, look at the actions of what they're doing, they probably weren't putting in the work that they needed to do to grow their business. So this is like, you know, it all comes full circle, you guys. So you got to get your shit done. All right. You got to let your hustle match your dreams. How big are your dreams? Then you've got to put in that kind of work. All right. And I want you to fall in love with the routine, just like you fall in love with the process of your physical journey, like of your mental and physical wellness. You got to fall in love with the coaching journey as well. Okay. So, like, I'm going to go through this with you guys, like how I create a routine that I, like, kind of really enjoy. You know, like, I have to put myself in the place to give myself the ability to enjoy it, because otherwise that negative energy is going to go into my invites, and I don't want that. So, you know, play music, let your personality come out. Do you like listening to rap music? Do you like listening to Ariana Grande? Do you like listening to Mumford and Sons? Like, what pumps you up? Or, you know, or maybe it's like listening to a podcast. Sometimes I listen to podcasts while I invite, like a really, like, Empower Her podcast. Like, she's really upbeat and really, like, positive. So I listen to that because it really gets me just in good vibes, right? You want to be who you are, and so you can attract you, right? So that's why I say, like, get yourself into your zone where you feel like your best self. Like, you're, like, that's why it's really good. I like the routine that I have now, because I'm inviting right after a workout. So I'm already, like, jazzed up, and I've done, like, all the things. So I feel really good. And then I'm going into my inviting, right? You know, use emojis and have fun. Don't, like, I'll show you in the examples that I'm going to do. Like, emojis are important, you guys, because this is through Messenger, you know, like, so you got to use some emojis. So if you're kind of sarcastic, or if you're kind of quirky, like, emojis will help transcend that, right? So you want to be able to, like, still have fun with it and get across, like, your personality through an invite. And if you're posting like a boss, you guys, your invites will become natural. Like I said before, like, if you're posting consistently and you're posting with intention, like I'm going to talk about right now, your objections are going to become less. People are going to respond to you quicker because they already feel like they know you. All right. So posting with intention. So your post and your stories are marking you in your lifestyle. All right. So that's why the consistency piece is so important, right? So you can address objections right in your storytelling in your posts. So I'm going to show you an example of that, but pretty much like these can be zingers, these can be short, these can be longer, but like storytelling allows people, it builds that connective tissue, but it also gives you a really great opportunity to, again, pull in those fears, pull in those objections that were going through your mind back then, and what helped get you to where you are now. You know, the first 2 weeks of the month, like I shared with you guys in our new coach boot camp, we really, really want to focus on filling up our boot camp, filling up our challenge group. So we're going to be talking every day about our fitness, our wellness, you know, our mindset, our nutrition. Like, you want to be talking about all of the things that are going to come up in our boot camp, you know. So highlighting those objections. You're going to be doing, you know, one quality post every day, like kind of, you know, breadcrumbing, highlighting, storytelling. And you're going to be talking on your stories and doing polls and things like that, inviting in many different ways. So that way you can maximize, reach all of the people in different ways, because you never know how it's going to hit somebody. And then the second 2 weeks in the month, really then focus a lot heavier on coaching. But basically, like, I want to give you guys into a rhythm, especially in the beginning, because this is something that I didn't have. But then, of course, like, over time, it's going to become so much more natural for you to talk about coaching every day. All right. Because, like, every day, like, talking about team call, that's me breadcrumbing coaching. You know, tomorrow, I don't know what I'm going to talk about tomorrow, but it's like every day, some way, shape, or form, I bring up coaching. I bring up the community, you know, whether it's calls or whatever, or, you know, what I'm doing, showing people what I'm doing that day. And for my coaching business, like, that's breadcrumbing coaching. So you're always inviting, all right? Every day be inviting to something, whether it's your boot camp or coaching, regardless of the time of the month. So like I said, your first 2 weeks, your post should be more about the boot camp, and your post second half of the month more about coaching. But in your stories and all that other stuff, like, talk about it all, right? So every fitness post should have a call to action or a call to think. Every coaching post should have a call to action or a call to think at the end. And I'm going to show you examples of that in a second. And you attract what you talk about. So if you talk about the hard, like, I was talking for a while, like, coaching was really easy, and I was attracting people that I think thought that coaching was really easy, because I was just highlighting all the fluffy stuff and all the good stuff. I wasn't highlighting the fact that it does take consistency and hard work. Now I'm trying to talk more and more about how hard it is. You know, talk about the consistency and the discipline that it takes, and talk about this last year, and talk about how hard it was at times, because I want people that are going to do the work. I want people that have the work ethic that I have, that, you know, have goals that, like, I have, and, you know, aren't afraid of the hard, because they know, like, they want the bigger so much more, right? So you attract what you talk about, and it applies to everything. So here's some examples. So if you're reaching out to people that are following you, so it's really simple. So a lot of these invites are all pretty much the same. It's just a little tweak of wording. So, hey, love, thank you so much for the follow. I just want to say thank you and check and see if you are interested in learning more about my boot camp or the coaching opportunity. Either way, no worries. Just let me know if you have any questions. This is like my standard invite, you guys. Hey, love, thank you so much for the love. So this would be usually in response to either my stories or a post. So if someone liked my stories, liked my post, or was on my stories, I might send this, like, to just all of them. And because, like, thank you so much for the love, like, that could mean just them watching, or it can mean them liking my posts. So just checking, did you want to snag a spot on my May boot camp? Either way, no worries. Just let me know, and if you have any questions. And then if you're something else I like to really do, especially if I'm getting down to crunch time, or like we're in the second week of enrollment, like, I want to create that sense of urgency. So I want to let them know, like, hey, I opened a couple more spots for you. I wanted to see if you wanted to join us. Does that sound like something you're interested in? Do you have any questions? So this is probably likely somebody that I'm following up with, like a re-invite. Maybe they've sort of expressed interest before, but it wasn't the right timing, or they objected to me before, or something like that. Or maybe they're just someone that continues to say no to me month after month. Like, I'm going to send them this kind of invite. Okay. So for a call to action, this is a post I just did the other day when I was sharing, like, my decorations. This is a call to action. So I'm talking about, I'm redecorating my office. I'm talking about, you know, like, the timeline, like, basically our goals, like how I have always had like this timeline in my life of like when I had to achieve things by, but like how I'm really trying to embrace like the fact that things happen on the timeline that it's meant to happen. And how I basically, I end it with basically like a little mix of a call to think and a call to action. So like, I'm going to go find out, okay, I'm going to keep showing up and doing the work, to go after my dreams. Like, are you in? Like, that's simple. Like, that's a breadcrumb to coaching. That's an invite to coaching without me being like, hey, you want to be a coach? So that's an example of like a call to action. So you can go and check out that post if you want, but that's what I mean when I say call to action. So a call to think, I'm saying, you're not saying, you're implying, but you're not directly addressing. So I did this, Rachel. This is a great way to tie in a quote, but to pull in a piece of your story and then put it back out to them to get them to think, right? So you are beautiful and worthy of good things. And if you don't believe that, nobody will. I talked about this Queen, Rachel Hollis, and I said, what I realized scares me more than the fear of failure or other people's opinions? Or no, what I realized scares me more than the fear of failure or other people's opinions over how I live my life? Oh my God, I can't read my own stuff. Looking back 20 years from now and wondering what my life could have been. So it's like, boom, zinger, hello, like, think about your life kind of a thing. Like, where do you want to be from now and 20 years from now? Okay, last slide, guys. Sorry, lots of info. So attraction marketing, you guys, this is all coming full circle. I talked about in the beginning how before you even invite, you have to make sure that you're being consistent. You have to make sure that you're showing up every day, that you are showing your journey and what you're doing every day to build that credibility, build that trust with your audience. And that's where attraction marketing, that's where you really have to be more intentional with what you're putting out there. So I don't want you to overthink it, but quality matters. This is the time to start playing around with it, getting, you're not going to be amazing at it. Like, but this is like, especially if you're a new coach and you're a new coach bootcamp, this is the opportunity to try again and put it out there and be like, and get good feedback from each other and see what other people are doing and to really like feed off of each other and learn from each other, right? This is the opportunity for you to ask lots of questions and see what's working and what maybe needs to be tweaked here and there. So I have a ring light, right? I live in a log cabin. I have like very little window light, but I utilize my window light. Or I take pictures outside a lot of times if I can. I take advantage of being outside. Even in my room here, I'm in here a lot. A lot of my pictures are in this room, but I try and switch up where I am. Like what angle that I'm taking my pictures from, whether it's at the mirror or in front of the window or facing this way. Like you don't have to have like a set up, you guys, but like you just have to kind of be creative with what you have. So, and like with those captions, you guys, you don't overthink the caption. You just want to make sure you're giving something of substance. Like I said, don't just throw up a quote without any sort of purpose. You can use a quote to make a point, but you kind of want to like have it be like kind of like one of those freebie type of posts. Like you can have like a post with a quote on it. Like if it's like maybe like a second post of the day, but you had a really meaty post earlier, or if it's over the weekend, but like, don't let that be your normal. Okay. Don't let like some just, short blurb quote be all that you're putting up. Again, motivation like is great, but it's not going to grow your business. And so get yourself a preset. So this was a lifesaver for me, you guys. I can't even tell you how many apps I went through and things like that, trying to figure out how to edit my pictures, to find a flow, to make it all kind of look like it went together. I tried so many things, and I don't know who invented Lightroom or presets, but it is a game changer. Literally, the preset I'm using right now cost me $3 on Etsy. And I got 5 different tones or whatever you call it, filters for $3, and you use it through Lightroom, and then you can tweak it. Like, it makes my my page look so much more attractive. It makes my pictures brighter. It automatically edits them. It makes everything look fluid and nice and professional, right? So if you haven't got one yet, get a preset. I will post about it tomorrow in our boot camp for those of you that are in New Coach Boot Camp, just to kind of give you the link and show you. I know Allie is a pro at this. She helped Shea set up hers, but it's really, really simple, you guys. You just need Lightroom, and you need to just get yourself a preset. Like I said, don't do the same post, same location. Have freaking fun, all right? Go on your stories and talk, right? Go on your stories and be a goofball if you're a goofball. Go on your stories and rant about something that pisses you off or makes you happy or whatever. Like, go on and be yourself. Like, someone that I love watching is Preston, actually. Like, I love watching Preston's stories because she just cracks me up. Like, it's like she's just herself. And like, I remember one time she was talking about sitting at a traffic light and like how she looked to her left and she was just talking about the people at the traffic light. It was hilarious. And like, you know, I go on and I just dance because like I like to just laugh at myself, you know, and be a goofball. So you just have to have fun and switch it up. If you've got family and your family cracks you up and they're like your people, you know, like, or you've got a really funny, cute dog, like show your dog. I don't know, whatever is you, like show you, be different, be you. All right. And smile. This is something that I learned, like, and it took a lot of playing, like the posts, the pictures where I'm smiling, even if the post is like a heavy post, it's like a something sentimental, you want to smile. That's what's going to draw people in. Like that's like going to stop their scroll and make them want to go read that caption. You know, you want to show them that even through hard things, like you find meaning. Hard things, you find the silver lining. Hard things, you push through, you push on. That's really just how I try to look at life, right? Is that, you know, there's on the other side of every hard thing, there's always something good or something to be learned or something to be gained, right? So you want to exude that. You want to show that. So smiling is what's going to draw people in. And then the good lighting. All right. So that was it, you guys. That was my thing on inviting. Share. Woo! I feel so winded from all that, but really, sorry, I'm so hot. All right. Does anybody have any questions before we hop off? No? All right. I apologize. You guys, you have to understand, I do get tough love. I am a tough love when it comes to this types of stuff because, you know, I'm a sensitive Sally, right, with all the rest of them, but I truly believe that we all need a Sasha Fierce, right? We all need to, like, I know deep down inside there's a really kick-ass, confident person, and, like, I'm building on her, right? Like, but there's a time and a place, and so I hope you heard my tough love and you didn't take it offensively, but I hope you appreciate it. But, all right, guys. Preston, I can't with your face. All right, guys, I love you, and thank you so much for hanging in there. And I will post this recording tomorrow for everybody who missed it. But thank you, guys. Bye.